And if you wonder why, we'll try to show you in the WINDSOR Follies before we say goodbye. I play the prince they called David,
who was England's hottest bachelor of all time.
He was heir to the throne and had everything,
but his life wasn't always that sublime.
I've just walked out on 300 rain-soaked debutantes at Buckingham Palace because I couldn't stand the sight of another wet curtsy. Poor silly girls. These state occasions are a waste of time, energy and money. Now don't try telling me that my presence brings something magical into ordinary people's lives. Ordinary people have lives. I don't. I visit other countries meeting diplomats and such to keep the British Empire alive. And I've been travelling non-stop, it seems, since I've been 25. When I'm at home, my parents always make it very clear that soon they want those wedding bells to ring. They want to make sure I'll have a queen when I become the king. Gorgeous women by the thousands, they line up to be my wife. I have them waiting at my beck and call. So what's the problem? No one excites me, that's all. The women that I meet are often lovely to behold, with ruby lips and champagne hair and eyes that shine like gold. I sample every flavor, but they always leave me cold, because I simply get bored. They glow with charm, they move with grace, they dress so very smart. We wine and dine, we dance till dawn, it's magic at the start. But when I get too much of them, that's when it falls apart, because I simply get bored. Is there something wrong with them? Or is there something wrong with me? They all seem somewhat defective. Or am I being too selective? Yet having short affairs with different women can be fun. Though people say it's best to settle down with only one, I can't see how that's possible when all is said and done, because I simply get bored. I really do try to let my heart fly, and if you ask why it won't fly too high, it's simply that I get so bloody bored. You should see the stony-faced princesses they've lined up for me. Frigid female fascists, all of them. Well, at least here at Port Belvedere, my country home, I can let my hair down, dress any way I please, trim the hedges, and just be myself with special friends.
You there, do you work here at Fort Belvedere?
Work here? Well, yes, sort of.
Well, I'm lost. So would you mind escorting me back to the west wing of this mausoleum?
Just exactly who are you?
I'm Wallis Simpson. Just exactly who are you?
Well, around here I'm known as the Prince of Wales.
The Prince? Good God! Wait till I tell the girls I met a real life prince. Wait till I tell the girls all about it. They won't believe we talked and what we had to say. Wait till I tell the girls what happened today. Mr. Prince, what do you do exactly?
Do? Oh, I travel a lot, visit foreign lands, shake a lot of strangers' hands.
Everyone in America claims to clutch to a royal paw at least once.
Well, I've been there twice already.
Hardly missed a soul, except poor me.
Oh, no slight intended. There.
I must say, you do it extremely well.
Years of practice.
Wait till I tell the girls I touched a real-life prince. Wait till I tell the girls all about it. We stood there hand in hand, just like plain folk you see. Wait till I tell the girls what happened to me.
My father wants me out playing Prince Charming day and night. I have to fight like blazes for any private life at all.
From what I hear, you manage rather well.
Oh, what do you hear?
Well, I hear that you frequent Soho gambling dens, that you drink far too much, and that you're a notorious seducer of married women.
Yes, well, I'll tell you a secret if you promise not to tell.
My lips are sealed.
Yes, it's all true. I am actually a very dangerous fellow, a regular Jekyll and Hyde. A debonair prince by day, a lascivious by night.
Really?
And what do the gossips say about Mrs. Wallis Simpson?
That she's from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a belle of the Old South, sir, and my behavior is always above reproach.
Well, we'll see about that when I take you out dancing.
Out? Dancing? Wait till I tell the girls I went out with the prince. Wait till I tell the girls all about it. I don't know where we'll go, but I'll be there all right. Wait till I tell the girls what happened tonight.
I'll take you to my favorite nightclub.
Really?
We'll have a lovely dinner and drink some sparkling wine. I'll reach across the table and place your hand in mine. And then I'll take you dancing and sweep you off the floor. And we'll feel like we're sailing to some exotic shore.
You'll ask me to the palace, and I won't need a shawl. We'll sit there in the garden, beneath the moon above. You'll put your arms around me, and when you hear me sigh, you'll hold me even closer. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh. Wait till I tell the girls I met a real-life prince. Wait till I tell the girls all about it. I don't know what we'll do, but I'll do it all right. Wait till I tell the girls what happened tonight. I'm certainly glad Ernest and I were invited here for the weekend.
Who is Ernest?
My ball and chain. My husband.
Oh, Ernest Simpson, whose shipping business is by appointment to His Majesty the King.
Yes, it is.
Well, then he won't mind me dropping by for tea once in a while.
I'm sure he'll be very pleased.
Oh, Prince Charming came for tea, all right. And over the next 6 months, he and my wife seem to be spending all their time together in smoky nightclubs, practicing the tango, the foxtrot, and the rumba. I'm home alone every night while they are both out dancing. At first I thought it was a lark, now I'm left in the dark by myself. I'm home alone every night, which isn't too entrancing. I occupy myself with work, but feel just like a jerk on the shelf. He's a dashing Prince Charming to her, she's just another conquest to him, and the chances of their becoming a pair are slim. I know when she sees the light, there'll be no more romancing. Then she'll come running back to me, and I won't have to be home alone every night.
Wallis, when coming on the Mediterranean cruise with me?
I haven't asked Ernest yet.
I'm not inviting him.
You forget, Your Majesty, that I'm a married woman.
I don't forget it for a moment.
I'm getting fed up with this dancing duo. He's a dashing Prince Charming to her. She's just another conquest to him. And the chances of their becoming a pair are slim. I know when she sees the light, there'll be no more romancing. And she'll come running back to me, and I won't have to be home alone every night.
Oh, what a holiday! We're sailing here and there, just taking in the sights, enjoying all the sunny days and starry nights. Far away from it all, we are having a ball on a holiday. Oh, look, David, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Well, let's go ashore. We can climb to the top.
On a royal tour, I usually stay on the yacht.
Don't you want to do some sightseeing?
Well, I must have official permission to visit national landmarks.
Oh, to hell with permission. Don't you want to have a good time?
Yes, let's have a good time. I like this holiday. I'm doing things with you that I have never done, and I admit that I am having lots of fun. It is easy to see I'm so glad you're with me on a holiday.
It feels good to act silly and let your hair down and know that you won't be the talk of the town. So come with me and let's explore a little more.
Pick up the newsreel cameras.
I thought you said the press wasn't supposed to bother us.
Well, that's only in England. In Europe, we're fair game.
Well, why don't you tell them to go away?
I did in French, Spanish, Italian, and Greek.
Then why are they still following us?
Well, those are the American reporters.
They are.
Well, perhaps you can communicate with them better than I.
I sure can. Hey, fellas. How you all doing?
One thing I've got to say, I would be very happy when this cruise is through, because it's been so wonderful to be with you. Under blue skies above, like two people in love, on a holiday.
No friend or relation will spoil this vacation, so hip, 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 hooray! What a lovely, beautiful, crazy, fabulous holiday!
And I am a very busy man. There are 3 million unemployed in Britain right now. That blighter Hitler has started rearming Germany. Mahatma Gandhi is leading India in a nationwide hunger strike. The Irish are throwing bombs in Piccadilly. Italy has invaded Ethiopia. There's a civil war going on in Spain. America has breadlines, and there's worldwide economic depression. The world is in a state of crisis, and I have plenty to do. Meanwhile, Queen Mary has summoned the Archbishop of Canterbury and me to Buckingham Palace because she is concerned about a royal scandal. The Prince of Wales has been cavorting about on the continent with Mrs. Simpson, and the American and European newspapers all have front-page photos of them. Well, these pictures are very distressing to the Queen and the Archbishop.
dandy on holiday.
This Mrs. Simpson is the spearhead of an American conspiracy to embroil the prince in a humiliating liaison which will destroy the monarchy. She is America's revenge for the excesses of King George III.
They're in love, I'm afraid.
He's in love. Obviously, insanely so. How she feels is a matter of conjecture.
Well, haven't you seen the Secret Service dossier on her?
Yes, the woman has a past.
She most certainly does. She's a lady with a shady reputation, and she's absolutely poison for my son.
Oh, this lady with a shady reputation will be gone after he has had his fun.
She's been married twice,
Which isn't nice.
and I've heard such stories about her.
So she isn't pure.
Oh, that's for sure.
Soon I think that we'll see him without her.
It amazes how he gazes at that floozy.
You exaggerate.
He's simply nothing more.
You agree a prince should be a bit more choosy.
Give him time and he'll show her the door.
We must talk to him, bring him to his senses, show him his behavior is wrong.
Then this lady with the shady reputation won't be here too long.
The common man wants his king up on a pedestal where he can look on him as part divine. He doesn't want him trampling around in shorts and sandals, taking snapshots like a tourist, and chewing gum like a yank.
American women are notoriously foolish and vain. This Mrs. Simpson is cleverer and more devious than she appears.
She does seem a bad influence.
I hate this lady with the shady reputation. I'd get rid of her if I could have my way.
No, this lady with a shady reputation will be here for a while, but she won't stay.
You keep saying she won't stay as we watch my son heading right for disaster.
Let it run its course. We can't use force.
But we want to do something that's faster.
Off with her head!
It's no joy that you've a boy that gives you trouble.
Loving someone that he shouldn't even like.
It's no crime to say it's time to burst that bubble.
We've been patient, and now we must strike.
Yes, strike!
So let's talk to him, bring him to his senses, show him his behavior is wrong.
And this lady with the shady reputation won't be here too long.
I certainly hope that this lady with a shady reputation won't be here too long. No.
The English carry on as if the only true royalty are on their throne. A very narrow-minded way of looking at the world. I come from a long line of American patriots who made their names and their fortunes in the Revolutionary War. My mother was a Montague from Virginia, and my father a Warfield from Maryland. So I'm actually descended from American nobility. We just didn't have any money, that's all. My father died when I was 5 months old, and I lived most of my childhood with my mother's sister, my angel Aunt Bessie. I already know what it's like to be treated like dirt just because you're poor. Those snooty Baltimoreans, those stuck-up rich brats. And they snubbed me at my cotillion because it was being paid for by my rich uncle, who didn't give a damn about me, but wanted to keep up the Warfield tradition of, if you've got it, flaunt it. Now I'll change their tune. I've stared at those people who just seem to have it all, with my nose pressed up against the window pane. It was little old me always looking in, and I
I see you received the Secret Service dossier on Mrs. Simpson, Your Royal Highness.
I looked at it.
The lady has a checkered past.
All it shows is that she's been around the corner a few times. Who hasn't?
The Queen insists she's an adventuress.
An adventuress? You mean my mother doesn't believe Wallis loves me for myself?
I don't think anyone believes that, sir. Bloody cheek. But after all, she is a commoner from a foreign land.
America is hardly foreign. Why, they practically speak English over there.
Just be forewarned.
Being a prince gets bewildering at times. I can't trust anyone. No one says what they really think, except Wallis. Or does she?
Meow. Hello, pussycat.
Wallis, would you give up your Baltimore citizenship if I asked you to?
Of course not. Would you give up your throne if I asked you to?
Or at least I'd think about it.
Well, please don't. It's rather fun being the future king's favorite, but my stock would fall fast if you were suddenly Mr. David Edward Smith.
Oh. You mean you wouldn't love me if I were just a common bloke?
Of course not.
Well, is that so? Am I a palace pal, a royal romp, a Londonderry brew? Am I just a novelty to you? Am I a diamond stud, a limousine, a flight to Timbuktu? Am I just a novelty to you? I don't know that much about you, and I don't mean to doubt you, but living with stars in your eyes may not be wise. So do you see the prince and not the man when I come into view? Am I just a novelty to you? Why don't you get rid of that Simpson chap, Wallis, and move into the palace with me?
And the king and queen, that would be cozy.
Well, shake them all up a bit.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah!
Let me ask you something, Mr. Prince. Am I a good time gal, a dance machine, all like red, white, and blue? Am I just a novelty to you? Am I a vaudeville show, a risque joke, a spicy Yankee stew? Am I just a novelty to you? You're so far above me, you surely couldn't love me. If that really isn't so, I'd like to know. Will I be here for now and evermore, or will we soon be through? Am I just a novelty to you?
Any skeletons in your closet, madam?
A few. A well-bred woman must always have a past, otherwise she'd never be invited anywhere.
Oh, tell me about them.
Of course not. My skeletons are very well hidden and of no interest to anyone on this side of the Atlantic.
We'll see about that, you naughty girl.
Am I a circus clown, a comic book, a monkey in a zoo? Am I just a novelty to you?
Am I a fairy tale, Aladdin's lamp, a flight to Timbuktu? Am I just a novelty to you?
Am I a geisha girl, a wind-up toy performing right on cue? Am I just a novelty to you?
Am I a costume ball, a carriage ride, a theatre box for two? Am I just a novelty to you?
I really don't know whether we'll both wind up together. Two different worlds we occupy. Can we try? Will I be here for now and evermore, or will we soon be through? Am I just a novelty to you?
I do want me beside you. that very clear. I want you near. So do you see the prince and not the man when I come into view? I won't be a novelty to you. I won't be a novelty to
To me, that prince of hers is a priceless idiot. Without his crown, he'd be just another effete, boring, tangoing Mayfair snob. However, I'm afraid that I'm losing Wally, and that clown's the reason why. We've had fights about the man, but nothing has changed, and soon it may be goodbye. I can't tie her up to the bedpost or put chains around her neck. She'd still find her way to him, and that's why I must do something before I'm a wreck. The guy is a prince, someday he'll be king. Now how can I compete with that? If I let her go, I'd wish her well, though life without her would sure be duller than hell. Divorce, divorce, divorce. It's an ugly word, of course, but it isn't a matter of who's right or wrong. When you fall out of love and you don't get along, it's better to get a divorce.
If I am to be a democratic king, I'll need a democratic queen. And considering what I know of English history, Wallis certainly is worthy. However, I'm in love with a married woman, so it's me and her and him. I'm part of a triangle which isn't so hot, although things are far from grim. But if he wasn't in the picture, it would really be quite nice. Then all of our plans would be so easy to make, and we wouldn't have to think twice. We can't shoot the man or poison his soup or bash him with a cricket bat. She can't simply tell him toodaloo. And so it appears there's only one thing to do. Divorce, divorce, divorce. It's an ugly word, of course, but it isn't a matter of who's right or wrong. When you fall out of love and you don't get along, it's better to get a divorce.
He's forever humming magical tunes, saying, "What sweet, what dawn," thoroughly devastates me. He's ridiculous, absurd, fantastic. And to think when King George pops off, he'll become king. So clever. How could a girl resist such a man? However, I'm a terrible wife for Ernest, 'cause we're different as can be. His idea of having fun is sitting at home. That's not enough for me. He needs someone like my friend Mary, who's not always on the run. So I guess it's time for me to face all the facts and do just what's got to be done. I'll untie the knot and set myself free before I grow too old and fat. Breaking up is hard to do, but then I've done it before, and I can do it again.
I just received official word that my father is seriously ill. Poor Dad. He always did put duty ahead of his own needs, ahead of his own family, as far as I can recall. He and Mother lived like gilded statues in a museum. Can I possibly live like that? The man who has everything always calls the tune. Whatever he desires, he can get. A snap of the fingers, and he's all set. But the man who has everything can grow old too soon. For fame and fortune simply won't provide the things that'll make him feel young inside. He needs someone precious to be with, who'll be honest and faithful and true, who'll respect him and hold him, tease him and scold him like an ordinary woman would do. He needs more than two eyes to see with, for you miss too much being alone. They'll explore things and scheme things, plan things and dream things that he never ever would on his own. And if his world falls apart and it seems he hasn't a friend anywhere, he'll have the strength to go on when others have gone, because she'll still be there. As long as his heart is beating beneath the heavens above, the man who has everything will never have everything until he has love.
I want to talk to you, sir, alone.
What on earth about?
I love my wife, and I resent your attitude towards her.
My attitude? What the devil do you mean?
Your affair is causing a public scandal.
Our affair? How dare you?
In America, if a man seduces your wife, you're entitled to horsewhip him. Or worse.
Worse?
Shoot him.
Are you challenging me to a duel, Simpson?
No. In America, we shoot from the bushes.
Good God, man, don't give me your backwards morality. We're not in America now.
Oh, if you were an ordinary man, I'd bop you in the nose.
Oh, go ahead, Ernie, take this fight. Anything to be treated like an ordinary man.
If people treated you like an ordinary man, Buster, you'd get the shock of your royal life. You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a bum.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a crumb.
You're a splinter underneath a fingernail.
You're a blister on a baby's rump.
You're a bumpy road.
You're a slimy toad.
You're an insect in a garbage dump.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a worm.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a germ.
You're a pickle.
You're a sore.
You're the carpet.
You're the floor.
You're the measles.
You're the flu.
You're the bottom of the barrel.
You're the bottom of the barrel.
That's you.
That's you. That's you. Just because everyone smiles and fawns over you and caters to your whims doesn't mean they like you.
You mean if I were an ordinary bloke, people wouldn't like me?
When you're nobody, you know who your friends are because they stick around for only one reason.
And that reason is
Because they like you.
what a blast! Look here, Ernest, do you think anyone likes me?
Probably not. I certainly don't. You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a louse.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a mouse.
You're a fire burning down an orphanage.
You're a rainstorm on a wedding day.
You're a muddy hole.
You're a toilet bowl.
You're a lizard crawling in the clay.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a loon.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a goon.
You're a rancid piece of
bundle of disease. You're ugly through and through. You're the bottom of the barrel.
You're the bottom of the barrel.
That's you.
That's you.
That's you.
Now, what about Wallis? How does she really feel about me?
I wouldn't know. And even if I did know, why the hell would I tell you?
Ernest, you know I like you. You're straightforward, right from the shoulder. You say what you really think. You're the first man I ever met who wanted to throw me out, pop me on the nose, shoot at me from the bushes. I tell you, man, you're aces.
Then put him up!
Marquis of Queensberry rules?
No. Anything goes. You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a bug.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a slug.
You're a maggot on a slab of rotten meat.
You're a cockroach in a bowl of soup.
You're a dirty skunk.
You're a pile of junk.
You're the droppings in a chicken coop.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're a bitch.
You're the bottom of the barrel, you're the
Stop! Ernest, David, stop this squabbling at once, you two silly schoolboys.
Choose, Wallie. Decide. Decide which of us you'll have.
I've already decided. Ernest has promised to give me a divorce.
He has? Then what the hell was all this about?
I promised to give her one. That doesn't mean I want to.
So you're getting a divorce. What are you planning to do when you're single again?
The question is, what are you planning to do when I'm single again? Now, I want you both to shake hands and make up. I insist on it, right now.
No hard feelings, Ernest?
David, it's been great fun.
It was such a lovely chat.
It was nice to chew the fat.
It made my day.
Me too.
You're an understanding
You're
fellow.
an understanding fellow.
That's you.
That's you. That's you.
Oh. I haven't had this much fun in years. I feel like a perfectly contented, quite ordinary man.
King George V died of cardiac arrest in his sleep in the presence of his wife and 3 sons. King Edward VIII's first act of his reign was to telephone Wallis Simpson with the news. Queen Mary's first act as a widow was to kneel and kiss the hand of her eldest son, the new sovereign. The king is dead, the king is dead, hear the church bells ring. The king is dead, the king is dead, long live the king.
Father was lucky he had you. It's a hell of a job.
And now yours, David.
So I suddenly feel the weight of the whole world pressing in on me.
As king, you will have to learn to live with that feeling.
Yet you all expect me to do it alone.
Not alone, but the choice of a wife cannot be made lightly. There's a miss right and a miss wrong, and you mustn't confuse the two. You've got to be careful what choices you make, before you say I do. It's now time to give serious thought to choosing a suitable wife.
I think that I've met just the person with whom I could live for the rest of my life.
You mustn't forget you now are the king, so don't be too hasty, my son.
You know that I've met many women, but this time I'm sure she's the one.
A woman who has sat in smart drawing rooms and making clever small talk, wearing the latest fashions, is not prepared for the almost cloistered existence of the monarch. She must be well-bred, noble and pure, and worthy of sharing the throne.
Well, worthy or not, there's no other.
Then you're better off if you reign all alone.
The newspapers print stories of her, but don't believe every word.
Well, one thing I know is she's married.
She's getting divorced.
So I've heard.
You think that I've lost all my senses, but my mind is perfectly clear.
Then simply forget Mrs. Simpson, and you'll be all right, my dear.
I won't give her up, that's for certain, and I know that I cannot be forced.
But David, a king cannot marry a woman who's been divorced.
Well, Henry VIII found ways around the rules that kept him from the woman or women he loved.
I hardly think he should be the king you emulate.
Can nothing be done?
Go find yourself a woman who can be the queen.
And let Wallis go?
Not exactly. You still can see her if you know what I mean.
I just couldn't stand living like that. I want to be with her each day.
Well, maybe if you thought it over, you'd see there is no other way. There's a Miss Right and a Miss Wrong, and you mustn't confuse the two. You've got to be careful what choices you make, because if you foolishly make a mistake, the day you say I do, you'll regret it your whole life through.
The king is supposed to be a figurehead. Someone to do all the handshaking so I can run the country. But this new king's behavior is causing a crisis throughout the Commonwealth. The governments of Canada, Australia, and Rhodesia are all threatening to resign if he persists in his affair with Mrs. Simpson. And trying to contain the British press gets harder every day. Why can't he realize politicians or kings or movie stars live in houses made of glass? So when it comes to amorous matters, they've got to show they have class. Every one of them has to realize people like to dish the dirt. Celebrities must use their discretion, or they could really get hurt. It's just a simple fact. They must watch how they act. The famous can't hide their romantic escapades, for they're scrutinized each minute of the day. Their pictures are snapped, their movements are mapped, their lives are always on display. Public people can't have private love affairs. When they go out courting, they've got to understand the multitudes are quick to criticize. Oh, if everyone hates the choice of their mates, that's how a scandal may arise. Public people can't have private love affairs. And if one of them is married, they'll quickly see what hell could be when the tabloids get through with that twosome. The results could be awfully gruesome. so their behavior must be above reproach, or at least that's how it always must appear. When passions ignite, they must do what's right, because one thing is very clear: public people can't have private love affairs. If they act like fools and don't play by the rules, they'd better say their prayers. Public people can't have private love affairs. Public people can't have private love affairs. I've certainly never had any.
David says he wants to make me his queen, and that we'll go out dancing for the rest of our lives. I will make a good queen. I know it. A spark will never go out of it for me.
My dear Mrs. Simpson, I am the Reverend Cosmo Gordon Lang, the Archbishop of Canterbury. I am pleased to meet you.
How do you...
Careful! Our ring.
Oh, did I hurt you?
The proper procedure is for the layman or woman to kiss the sacred ring, not grab at it.
I'm American. I'm afraid we're not up on all that malarkey.
Malarkey?
Though I am trying to learn the ropes with the help of a good friend.
Someone who knows all the malarkey?
A regular expert.
Might I ask the name?
You know his name, Archbishop. Otherwise you wouldn't be here.
His Royal Highness, King Edward VIII. I'll be direct. I won't beat around the bush. Your relations with the king must end. The Queen Mother, the Church, and everyone I know find it quite appalling, my friend.
Well, listen, friend. Me and David will survive, even if you don't approve of us. We'll be married for sure as soon as I'm divorced, no matter how loud you holler and cuss. So go on and make a hell of a fuss.
You're such a stupid little lamb, for you just don't know who I am. I'm the Archbishop of Canterbury. I'm the Church of England, you see. I answer only to God above, and the king must answer to me.
In America, we separate church and state.
We are not in America, madam. We are in England, and here the king is answerable to the church, which is me.
You? Golly, we're sunk. I know that David and myself could make a go of it if everybody wouldn't interfere. I may not be very clever, but I'll be his queen forever and make him really proud to have me near.
You're just a plain adulteress, so you cannot be the queen, as far as the Church of England is concerned. You're a woman, rather scarlet. You're a hussy and a harlot. 100 years ago, you would be burned.
I resent the name-calling, even if you are an archbishop.
I am the Archbishop.
That's no excuse for bad manners. The anger that you're venting is due to your resenting that David and I are having fun. I've seen the Bronco boy, a decent bit of joy, and you would love to see it all undone.
I possess a blunt instrument that can deal you a blow from which you would never recover, Mrs. Simpson. If the London daily papers wrote all about your capers, you'd never recover shelter from the blast. So now I'll cut them loose, and when they cook your goose, you'll run back to America real fast.
I'm used to being in the headlines.
In America and Europe, but in Great Britain, you are hated, madam.
There are people in high places who'll stand by us, Archie boy, and with their help I know we'll see it through. So let the press dissect us. We have good friends who protect us from narrow-minded relics such as you.
You can go to those in power, but they could not help you, dear. So no need to scheme your schemes and plot your plots. You can beg, demand, or bargain, but to put it in your jargon, in England I'm the guy who calls the shots. I'm the Archbishop of Canterbury, and the Church of England you see. I answer only to God above, and the King, my dear, and the royal family. And even you must answer to me.
My goodness, these English sure do get their knickers in a twist over me.
We finally let the newspapers loose, and the British press have been having a field day. Headlines about the King and Mrs. Simpson, and everybody screaming. Oh, we expected criticism of the King, but the hostility toward Mrs. Simpson is beyond belief. Bricks have been thrown through the windows of her house. She's been pushed and slapped about by women shoppers on Oxford Street, and "Down with the American whore" is painted on walls and railway bridges across the country. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if someone tries to shoot her. We're all hoping that this brings the King to his senses. The only member of Parliament who thinks he has a chance in a hailstorm is that half-American lunatic, his old friend, Winston Churchill.
Good old Winnie, he sent a telegram. Never give in. Never give in. Never give in. It's easy for him to say.
Your Majesty, today's papers have front-page ultimatums on your proposed marriage on every one.
Well, why don't they mind their own business regarding my private affairs and get back to the real news? Murders in Twickenham and such.
It's a juicy royal scandal, the subject of party jokes.
Well, what could they say?
Well, ex-husbands and lovers can tell tales about her that should give you cause for alarm. It can happen any time in the future when it can do the most harm. They can fabricate, exaggerate in any way they please. You'll feel the sting, and it will bring you quickly to your knees.
What could they possibly say?
Well, that they have proof. Like the dinner party where she let down her hair and danced on the table in her underwear.
What nonsense.
Of course, but you never know what they might say someday. After all, she spent a year and a half in Peking.
I know.
Like the certain evening when, with a few strange men, she spent the wee hours in an opium den.
That's crazy.
Of course, but you never know what they might say someday. They can spread the wildest stories, and the public will believe every word. There's little you can do to prove they aren't true. You're no child in school, and you're not a fool, so just let discretion be your golden rule.
Yes, teacher.
Don't jest, for you never know what they might say someday. The wife of the king cannot have a a record of numerous sexual relations.
2 husbands, that's all.
Well, that's the problem. Both still living, both still remembering.
Remembering what?
The Queen's pudendum. Can't have that, you know. A Queen's private must be private. Like when she was young and cute, she made lots of loot by frolicking in a house of ill repute.
What garbage.
And of course, but you never know what they might say someday. Like there was that drinking bout where she went the rout until she had fainted and was carried out.
Oh, rubbish.
And of course, but you never know what they might say someday. You'll feel such humiliation. Life together will be no song and dance. That's why I must repeat, you've got to be discreet. So don't be dense, use your common sense, or you'll find that's certainly the best defense.
Don't lecture.
I won't, but you never know what they might say someday.
Actually, when she lived in China, the clever girl took lessons in the art of Fang Chung.
Fang Chung?
It's a skill that's been practiced for centuries. It can arouse anyone. It certainly works for me.
Sounds very exotic.
Oh, it's better than I ever imagined.
It's worse than we thought. Like about those weekend trips when she swung her hips among all those people holding chains and whips.
That's stupid.
Well, of course, but you never know what they might say someday. That strip poker interlude, but her fortitude made her play the game till she was in the nude.
What nonsense.
And of course, but you never know what they might say someday. Your affair with Mrs. Simpson is embarrassing and awfully absurd. By now you ought to know it's time to let her go. You're bound to find you'll have peace of mind if you look ahead and leave the past behind.
Don't lecture.
Oh, right, but you never know what they might say someday. Oh. I've had my say and now I'm on. I've had my say and now I'm on. I've had my say and now I'm on my way.
Wallis, where on earth are you going?
The French Riviera. I have to hide out till this fuss dies down.
No, stay with me. We'll see it through to the bitter end together.
I can't. If they catch me anywhere near you, they're going to put a stop to my divorce.
Bastard, this is what they wanted, to separate us.
Well, it's working. David? Will you miss me?
Dreadfully, Wallis.
And you're king? Will you make me queen?
I promise I will. Since I've been with you, the things that you do have made me alive once more. I'm just like a child who wants to run wild and open up every door. The world is new and wonderful, the way it ought to be. For you make me feel so young again. That's what you do to me.
The songs that you sing, the flowers you breathe, go right to my heart, it seems. When you take my hand, I'm in a strange land I've only seen in my dreams. And when your eyes look into mine, I don't know what you see.
didn't sit home alone all those nights while Wally and Peter Pan were off in Never Never Land. I made friends. In fact, one of Wally's lady friends went to great lengths to see I wasn't lonely. So those grounds for divorce aren't total fiction. And Miss Mary Raffrey now holds the key to my heart and my home. I must admit, it's a relief not being the joker anymore. It's no honor being made a public cuckold. Now London society knows that while Mrs. Simpson tangoed till dawn with the prince, Mr. Simpson forgot his troubles in the arms of another woman. And soon, those wedding bells will chime for us. She's home with me every night, which may not seem exciting, but I'm contented as a cow, and that's exactly how I'll remain. She's home with me every night, and you won't hear us fighting, because she faces every storm and turns it into warm summer rain. I'm enjoying a love nest for two, but that'll change for Mary and me, 'cause one day we'll awake and baby will make it three, and home will still be alright and even more inviting. We'll be a family come what may, and I'll be glad to stay home with them every night. Poor Wally and her Princey boy. I looked up the rules in the public library, and there's no way he can swing it. Divorce. That's the sticky wicket. Strike one, Earl Winfield. Strike two, me.
His father dedicated his life to duty and the sanctity of royalty. Now it is his turn. Duty is a stern master, as he will find out in time. Being a king, his happiness is usually denied a king.
I'm glad we got rid of that awful American woman. The British people would never have accepted her as their queen. And now, after this scandal, my son David cannot even keep her as his mistress.
The lady in question is now out of the country. The coronation is next month, and we're going ahead with it full steam. Once he's crowned king, he'll forget about Mrs. Simpson.
I'm caught up in this unstoppable machine. No matter which way I turn, I can't beat them. They're winning. Don't they realize they leave me no choice?
Operator! Operator! C'est an emergency! Quoi? I must get through to England. The lines are... No, demain, très tard. I must get through tonight. By tomorrow it'll be all over.
Good evening. This is the BBC. And now, broadcasting from Windsor Castle, His Majesty, Prince Edward.
At long last, I am able to say a few words of my own. I have never wanted to withhold anything, but until now it has not been constitutionally possible for me to speak. You all know the reasons which have impelled me to renounce the throne, but I want you to understand that in making up my mind, I did not forget the country or the empire which I for 25 years tried to serve. But you must believe me when I tell you that I have found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of responsibility and to discharge my duties as king as I would wish to do without the help of the woman I love.
That silly boy. I never should have left him. I should have stuck by him and kept up his fighting spirit. Doesn't he see they're only winning because he's letting them? If he really loved me, he would have fought them to the bitter end. We would have won, damn it, I know he would have. He promised to take me where I've never been before, but he didn't keep his word, so here am I. After burning all my bridges one by one, all my hopes went up in smoke, and that's no fun. I thought that together we could both have something more, but he threw it all away, I don't know why. Now my world is singing awfully out of tune. Was it wrong that I went reaching for the moon? I remember when I was a little girl, I didn't have much at all. Second-hand clothes, and heaven knows I always felt real small. So when I grew up, I had to help myself in any way that I could. I did okay, except today, it doesn't look too good. He pulled the rug from under me, and I'm reeling, and that's not such a very wonderful feeling. It's so hard not knowing what tomorrow has in store. If I wasn't still in shock, I'd simply cry. 'Cause it isn't easy planning what to do when I know the dreams I dreamed will not come true. It makes me feel like I did way back when. Oh, suddenly, it's little old me again.
Aha! They made their bed, and now they will have to lie in it. The irresponsible ex-king and his vulgar American sweetheart have brought this disaster upon themselves. They will be exiled from this sceptred isle, spurned forever by true royalty everywhere. Yes, we will see to that. Yes, waiting today that I could not stop, although I did all I could. I talked to him and I talked to her, but it did not do much good. So let them cut their wedding cake, it's no longer my affair. I won't taste their cake, I know, because I won't be there. There's a wedding today, a terrible wedding today, and I'm going to stay, I'm going to stay away.
There's a wedding today and the public knows the marriage will never last. My son will see the mistake he's made when the honeymoon is past. So let their friends propose a toast to the newly wedded pair. You won't see me lift a glass because I won't be there. There's a wedding today, a terrible wedding today, and I'm going to stay away.
stay, I'm going to stay, I'm going to stay away. I'm going to stay,
I'm going to stay,
I'm going to stay away.
There's a wedding today, a terrible wedding today. And I'm going to stay, I'm going to stay, I'm going to stay away. I'm going to stay,
I'm going to stay,
I'm going to stay away, 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 away. This is a proud day for me. To show their gratitude, the royal family are making me an earl and a viscount. Though I'll always be remembered as the prime minister who saved the monarchy. Meanwhile, I think I'll return to my office to find out if anything significant has been happening in the world.
I'm tired of this boring honeymoon, traipsing around France and Germany. When are we going back to England?
Well, we can't go home again until I receive special permission from the government.
I don't believe it. Let's go to New York then.
No. All my foreign travel must first be approved by my brother, the king.
Your family is punishing you.
Well, I am free to visit any of the Crown colonies. We could go to the Bahamas.
I'd as soon go to Baltimore as the Bahamas. Wait till I tell the girls I was let down by the prince. Wait till I tell the girls all about it. He promised to make me queen when he became the king. Wait till I tell the girls everything.
But you wouldn't have been happy as queen.
At least everybody wouldn't be laughing at me.
No one's laughing at you.
I'm the laughing stock of the world. Loser of the century.
Wallis! Was I a palace pal, a royal romp, a Londonderry brew? Was I just a novelty to you? Was I a diamond stud, a limousine, a patent leather shoe? Was I just a novelty to you? Now I know much more about you, and I hate like hell to doubt you. But living with stars in your eyes just wasn't wise. I guess you saw the prince and not the man when I came into view. I was just a novelty to you.
We're on the brink of war with Germany, and Winston Churchill, thank God, is now the Prime Minister. Rumor has it that Hitler wants to invade Britain and put David back on the throne with Wally as his queen. My old Wally, a Nazi sympathizer? Oh, wouldn't that be one for the history books? Wally, is that you?
Excusez-moi, sir. I'm her Duchess, the Royal Duchess, the Windsor, to you, sir.
Why, come off it, old girl. Loosen up. It's me.
Ernest? Who will all be? What are you doing here in Paris?
Well, with war coming, Mary and I are closing up our Paris house.
The Duke and I are stuck here.
But everyone's fleeing to London.
Not everyone. An ex-king has to wait for permission and instructions from his royal bosses.
You don't seem happy.
I'm not. Can't forget how we threw everything away that gave our lives meaning.
So it was his royal crown you wanted after all?
it turns out he had no power whatsoever.
The poor guy threw it all away for you and you never loved him. Just as everybody said.
I thought I loved him.
Yeah, I thought you did too.
Where did he go wrong, Ernest?
Perhaps it didn't. He was way up there, high on a pedestal, a knight in shining armor, a hero, a king, a god who would give you everything. Then he came down from the golden heights. It wasn't what you wanted your hero to do, but he did it just to be with you. You lost your chance at fame and glory, but after all you didn't fail, because the world that came tumbling down was merely just a fairy tale.
Dear Winnie, in response to your telegram with my official orders, of course I agree we've got to defeat Hitler, but when I offered to join our armed forces, they refused my commission. I must admit I was quite surprised and it hurt. However, please realize that despite the shabby way that Wallis and I are both being treated, I want you to understand that my loyalty will always be to my country. I've been ordered to be governor of the Bahamas, and it's certain that I will go. Wallis wants to return to America, and I'm going to miss her so. If this is how I'll have to serve my country, I'll serve like any other man, even though this is far from what I had in mind. I'll do the best I can. I'll do the best I can. Yes, sort of.
I'm lost. So would you mind taking me with you?